get a doink shot at some point, I'll be a little let.
For those that may be new, to explain what a doink is, because it is unironically an actual phrase and terminology that we use in the game of Rocket League.
It's basically just your kind of car kind of going underneath and just kind of this off the roof, whether it be a jump, maybe you're kind of getting there and you're just kind of slightly air rolling, the ball just kind of pops off the top of your car. It's just a little doink action to the ball, you know? But skilled doinkers can actually put a lot of speed on the ball, so you can actually see some pretty scary shots. It's almost like doing a psycho, but it's right side up instead of upside down.
So the crazy thing is, like, for a technical definition of a doink, you can't adjust pitch or yaw in your car. You have to just kiss off the top. It's a flick without any like head motion or redirect. It just has to happenstance go by and it just bounces off, or in this case, doinks off, which is like someone's like the technical definition is going to come off the sound it would probably make. Shout out to Subpar and HD and the boys over there for coining that phrase very early on. So
you know, I didn't know that was those two that coined that, and that literally does not surprise me. Like,
no, it is early origins of like Team Rocket sub origin story. I know you said, hey, Rocket League no bias. You've been doing it for 4.5. Been doing it.
You've been doing you've been doing a few more. You know, I spent a few years in some other games before I got here. You know.
Yep. It's hard to get away from the main bay. You know. So, jokes aside, we've got two of our teams out to compete. Excited to find out who exactly the two team names are. But Wizro with a fake. He's trying to set up his teammate. Almost baits him out, but good defense on the other side there.
Yosis up against Queens. Zach, we're gonna have.
Okay, so we are going with those two high seeds, which is good to see. So this is the 8th seed and Theosis 9th seed and Queens, and it's gonna be Queens on the board first.
Yeah, easy finish there for Queens, and you know, a little bit of a slight air roll, little lifted doink, little pop there to put the ball over near the net. Teammate able to go in, finish it off. So Queens up 1 here in the opening, just a minute on the board.
Now, this is for me just checking because I love having the community here and people to interact with in chat. If you guys can hear us now, apparently we had some audio issues a little bit earlier, so you guys didn't get to hear theory crafting about milk going on. But if you guys can hear us now, would love to see like a 1 in chat or anything like that, just so we know things are going around. Plus, then I can feed it back to production just in case. But overall, Theosis, just so you guys are knowing, they did take game 1, so we're jumping in the middle of this best of 3. Theosis does have a game 1 victory and is on match point, so a good look. Queens are going up 2-0 in game 2, trying to bounce back.
Touch from Wizro. They're trying to put it. I think he was actually trying to catch it a little bit low. Want to catch that transition, hope to bounce it over the defender sitting on the wall, but as it catches that transition, rolls right down into the waiting arms of the Queens team. Able to set up another striking opportunity and capitalize on it. So now up by 2. Still basically an eternity's worth of time in Rocket League. It's here left for Theosis to try and get back in and close this one out in 2, but a lot of ground to make up.
Now, I don't know if you've ever been part of those conversations with Wavepunk, host of the RLCS nowadays, but the realities of best of 3s, I'm a huge fan of. Because every match is so important. Like, game 1 is match point potential. It's either trying to fight for a reverse sweep or the game's over. And then game 3 is like, hey, good luck. Every game is so important in the best of 3, even though it's really tough for Rocket League. But I think for bracket play and for what we're trying to do qualifiers, it adds a level of intensity.
I think for this trying to do here, I think best of 3 is going to work inside of this type of bracket play. But it's also one of those ones where, like, when you get a good series, you as viewers and casters, it's like it should be a best of 7 series, and you want that like extra game because it's just such a good series to watch. You needed in the best of 3. So I think for this, I love it. I think in playoffs and finals, things like that, it's like I just want more Rocket League.
Selfishly, I think we can never get enough how much we've been watching and casting it. But a lot of players that I'm kind of keeping an eye on so far has been Wizard, who's impressing a lot of times on defensive half rather than pushing. Frodo's going to put one top right. Has been his ability to slow it down and change the pace, but The pressure from Queens. Right on the money.
Man. Dead top right corner there. Perfectly placed shot from Frodo. Slots it around the defenders and up by 3 here. I don't know what happened in game 1, but dominant. Queens is looking here in this second game. Another shot on the money. Lower right this time and up by 4.
Frodo may be there, but he's got Samwise on the other team helping out Dead for the goal. It's actually a pull shot from the other team.
Ooh. 4-0 now. Another kick up. Dangerous one, able to save it away. Pushes it out to the side wall. And another one. Actually, going to go the way of Theosis. So now 1 goal on the board. 3 more needed in a minute 20.
Yeah, 3 more plus minutes of gameplay, and that's the first time we get to see on broadcast Theosis take a goal. You know, it makes me curious on what really went down in that first game that we didn't get to see on broadcast of how Theosis got the victory, or, you know, if they're just kind of playing with their food, maybe they're like, you know what, first round, we're really confident, so false sense of security so we can get warmed up in more matches and play. Again, with best of 3s, it's scary, man, so no guarantees. There's a lot of pressure going to be here. Like for Mike, almost an opportunity as Dead rotates back on the other half and trying to put it in the way, but can't secure his own corner boost. So, bit of a situation until Frodo gonna break it out, rocking that solary decal. Shout out to the boys, Fairy Peak, and the rest over on that squad. Basically, what is now considered retirement home. As again, it looks like another own goal.
It is for another own goal. It takes a shot, does a bouncer. Has a player back on defense in like Mike, but the first defender there on Theosis tries to get a lift towards the backboard and does not get it. It ends up just slotting it right underneath that crossbar and putting it away. Queens up by 4. 35 seconds left. I'm thinking this one's going to game 3.
Yeah, we love to see it. Trying to see more and more in Rocket League, but again, a lot of things to clean up here for Theosis. You know, a really good start in game 1, but since then, 2 own goals. And again, some challenges back. We talk about, you know, the varying skill and being able to showcase different things as Queens is really ramping up their offense. Good shot, may not be on the target, but hey, a bad shot just turns into a great pass.
I think he's obviously looking for that inside shot, but also it's one of the decisions shot there is it's the tighter position to shoot for. If you do miss, you are most likely putting it around that defender. It's just a good spot where a lot of times if you miss that shot, that's going to be, as you said, just a better pass.
What I am so confused by is how the scoreline is 1-6. Took and did what is essentially a ceiling shot setup. So he almost has a ceiling shot double touch. So like the mechanics are there. My curiosity though is how, with the pressure that happened, unless we just have the graphics messed up, that's the case. It is actually Theosis that just won 6-1, not Queens. So the graphic was flipped.
It was flipped? Okay.
That makes more sense. I'm like, what is going on in this series? Like, how is... Which is, okay, explain. Like, okay, you know, there's a couple shot attempt there. You know, a ceiling shot double touch is not an easy mechanic to have for across the board at all. So to see that come out, I'm like, okay, so they are capable. They are just trolling us. And then it's like, I'm like, okay,
that makes more sense.
Cheeky production, like.
I think it's one of those ones where get it set up. It's one of those things I like in my own head. It gets flipped all the time, right? Like what we watch on broadcast versus like your own game. In your game, you're always the left, right?
Yeah.
Orange team, left side of the board. Blue team, left side of the board. Here it gets preset into a location. That's sorted, but Theosis, they take down in. So no game 3. I thought we were getting one. That was a lie. I apologize for misinforming you all, but first series of the day done, wrapped up. Just takes it.
Yeah, unfortunately, their reward is going to be going into the next part of the bracket against the #1 seed, which is Red Lotus. So I will say though, with the offense like that, a lot of good follow-up, a lot of good performance in their regard. You're talking rotational play is one thing, but we saw that actually a lot last event that we were here for, where a lot of shots, and they just didn't have that third player in rotation to come put it. Was not an issue at all for Theosis. Very clean with the follow-up. So curious to see how that's going to get challenged in the midfield and what that's going to look like as we start getting prepared for our next match. So overall, good looks, good performance from them. Primarily, it is going to be a difficult one as we do see Queen's University drop into that lower bracket.
Yeah, they'll have to play their way out of that. But just to go back to it, you're kind of talking about the rotational play there. I think last week we had seen some rotational play. We'd seen some stuff, but there was a lot of issues where kind of a double commit in that 1-2 man position or a third man overcommit. I didn't really feel like Theosis committed any, rotational atrocities or anything throughout that series. The field presence was really solid. There was a good enough gap in between each player, enough time for them to react, think about what's going on. Well-placed shots, even if they did get saved, it was placed in a spot that put enough pressure on them that did force some mistakes out of the other side. They looked solid, so it'll be really interesting to see how they do against that number 1 seed as they move on.
We mentioned a little bit earlier in the broadcast, and by we I mean myself, how to earn some of these prizes, and the easiest way to do so is by checking out the Discord. We've been talking a lot about different ways to get involved, and you can do so easily, whether you type !Discord in the chat, which I bet Nola is going to beat you all to. Yeah, he's so good about it. So fast. So you can either do it that way, or there is actually a page that you can click. But the benefits of joining the Discord is a lot of different. One, you can be part of the community, which I think is really cool. The fact that we're talking about everything is regional based right now. You can join with other like-minded people that are potentially from your area that you can maybe team up and get to know and kind of build that camaraderie, which I think is really cool. But inside of there's a lot of potential ways how you can get involved and actually earn some prizes. So make sure you guys go check out the Discord. !Discord in the chat is the easy way to do so. Also, alongside that, if you guys are looking to compete in this, you're just kind of a bystander and you want to get involved, !Register for signups in chat as well as an easy way. But with that said, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more Rocket League action. Don't go anywhere.
Is that a phone? That thing's a gaming machine. Is that Faker? Everyone, fasten your seatbelts. And here we go!
When I first heard about the sports series, I was like, there's no way.
I was absolutely stoked.
You don't really hear about esports at all in Canada, let alone from a big company like TELUS.
Canada does have people who are thriving, getting us into that big picture.
And it should be their game. The Bronze Manovas from second, now finally find first.
Simply put, the TELUS Esports Series is esports for everyone. It's our take on what the industry should look like and where we think it should go. It's way more fun to compete with something when there's something on the line. And the TELUS Esports Series gives players of all skill levels opportunities to experience that. Fun gaming experience, more fun for everyone. And we want to help the gaming industry evolve and grow the way that it should. And I think the time is right for it.
you.